What's up guys, in this video I'm going to be answering the question, is the iPhone 6 Plus too big? So the screen on the iPhone 6 Plus is 5.5 inches, that's diagonally. This phone is massive, it's huge. You can see it in my hand right now to see how big it is. Here you can see it compared to the iPhone 6, the iPhone 5S, and just see how much bigger it is. This thing, again, huge. Here you can see it beside the iPad mini to give you a good idea of how it compares to the size of that. The screen being this big makes it awesome to watch YouTube videos, movies, browse the web, check your email. Everything is better on a bigger screen because you have more space, you have more room to see stuff. Now one thing I've noticed, because it is this big, is it feels very fragile. It feels like if I drop this thing, it is 100% certainly going to crack. If it lands on a corner, if it lands the screen down, this thing is done. It's just like almost too awkwardly big to use as like an everyday phone. Not that it's too bad to have it in your house or anything like that. It's just like, I guess using this every day, it's almost a little too big. Another problem I have is the design. Not that it looks bad or anything like that. I think it looks fantastic. It's super slim, it's super thin, it's sleek looking. It just looks great. But this design is very slippery. Like, it doesn't have a good grip in your hand. Like, if you get a good grip around it, it's fine. But when you're like using it, it feels almost like you could just slip out of your hand at any time. And I think that's because it's just so awkwardly big. Not in a bad way or saying it's too big yet, and I'm not getting to that yet, but it just kind of feels like, I don't know, it's just a learning curve to get used to this so you don't drop it when you're using it. So what I'm saying is if you have a 6 Plus, you pretty much need a case on it. It's just too flimsy, too big. If you drop this thing, it's done. I know certainly, if I keep using this phone and I don't put a case on it soon, in the next couple days, I'm going to break it, watch. But I've already ordered cases, don't worry, they're on the way. I just hope I don't break it in the meantime. Now moving on, I'm sure what you guys want to know is how this phone feels in your hand. What is it like to use it on a daily basis? Can you use it with one hand? Can you use it with two hands? So let's go over that. So the answer is yes, I can use iPhone 6 Plus with one hand and pretty much control everything from the screen. When I'm sitting down, I notice most of the time I would kind of hold the phone, or at least it felt most comfortable to hold it over on the side, which I've never really held a device that way, but I held it that way so that I could reach every corner of the screen because it kind of just, it makes it easier. Now that's how I hold it if I'm sitting down using one hand, but if I was standing up and like walking around using one hand, I would kind of hold it the same way, except I kind of put my pinky under the phone just to give it support so it won't slide out. It's pretty much the same way I'd hold the 5S, except my fingers are kind of spaced out more, and so that my thumb is like in the middle of the phone, so that way I can reach the top of the screen and the bottom of the screen. Now I do kind of have big hands. I would say they're probably bigger than like the average person, so maybe that's why I can use it with one hand and it feels fine for me. So taking that into account, if you do have small hands, you may not be able to use this phone with one hand, but two-handed use, you're gonna be completely fine with it. But I know a lot of people do use their phone with one hand majority of the time. I mean, even with my hands this size, it's still kind of big. You kind of just have to like, I guess, like conform your smartphone use to fit the size of your screen. What I found is I kind of flip-flop because I used to be a one-handed phone user when I was on a smaller phone, but now that I'm on the 6 Plus, I kind of most of the time use two hands just because it does feel more comfortable. Now there is a cool feature that Apple added to fix this problem. So if you're one of the people that has the smaller hands and you can't reach up to the top of the screen, you can actually just double tap, not push, but actually just barely double tap like you tap the screen on the home button, and everything on the screen will actually come down and drop down so you can reach all that stuff at the top, and then as soon as you tap, it'll just go right back to normal. And actually when I'm using it one-handed, I have found myself using that feature a lot, so yes, it has came in handy. Now I don't know if you guys know this, but Apple actually put a special feature in the 6 Plus where it actually solves a huge problem. If you use this phone, the 6 Plus, you cannot text and drive at all. It's way too big. You're going to get pulled over if you do that, which that's an awesome thing. Not that I'm encouraging texting and driving. You shouldn't be doing it at all. But yeah, Apple pretty much solved the problem. You can't ride around in your car holding this phone up. You will get pulled over. Now you've seen the 6 Plus in my hand, but let's take a look at the 6 Plus in just some everyday spots, like some places you'll use it or just set it down, just to see how it fits with your everyday life. I'm guessing most of you guys want to see first, how does it fit in my pocket? And for me, I wear guys pants, so my pockets are pretty big, and I say it fits pretty nicely in it. It doesn't really feel too bulky in my pocket, and I think the reason for that is just because of how thin it is. If it was any thicker than this, it will probably be too bulky. Don't worry ladies, I've got you covered too. Here's the iPhone 6 Plus trying to fit into a girl's pocket, which as you see, it's too big. The 6 Plus, most of the time, is probably not going to work for girls' pockets because they wear tighter pants, their pockets are normally smaller, and the 6 Plus is not going to work, so you're probably going to have to like throw it in a purse if you carry one. And even a lot of girls carry those like small purses. The 6 Plus may even be too big for like those really small purses that girls carry. So yeah, if you're a girl, I don't think the 6 Plus is gonna be for you unless you just don't mind throwing it in your pocketbook. But if you are gonna throw it in a purse, please put a case on it first. Don't scratch this beautiful device. Now, one place I found that using the 6 Plus is awkward is actually laying in bed, because most of the time, at least for me, I use one hand when I'm using my phone in bed. If you're laying down, your phone's gonna be sideways in your hand, and that kind of feels awkward to like hold it like that and try to give it support while using it with one hand at the same time. So if you're laying in the bed, you're probably most of the time gonna be using it with two hands, which can be kind of annoying when you're used to using it with one. Now, when I'm driving around in my car, I normally put my iPhone down in this little slot right in the middle, but with iPhone 6 Plus, I haven't really wanted to put it there. I've actually been putting it in my seat kind of under my leg so it just stays there. Normally my 5S goes there, but with the 6 Plus, it's like it's too big, like it's sticking out too far in that little slot, and I just don't feel comfortable putting it there. Plus it doesn't have a case on it, so I feel like it's gonna get scratched by that plastic or something sitting in that. So until I get a case, it's not going in there. I've just been leaving it under my leg. So that's one thing. If you put your phone in certain little places or certain small spots that it fits in normally, you may have to find somewhere else to put it, like in your car or whatever like that. Alright, so you've seen the iPhone 6 Plus in my hand, you've seen some everyday use of it, so now to answer the question, is the iPhone 6 Plus too big? The iPhone 6 Plus is really for someone who likes to lounge around a lot, or just someone who wants a really big screen, but most of the time I think it's going to be perfect for like sitting around on the couch, not really doing too much. If you lead an active lifestyle, you probably don't want this phone. It's not just going to be right for you. It's too big. I think for most people, the iPhone 6 Plus is going to be too big, me included, but at the same time, with that being said, I'm still going to keep using it just because I want this bigger screen. I'm just going to deal with it when I'm skating or when I'm doing something active. I'm just going to set it down. Maybe I'll bring an iPod with me or something like that if I want to listen to music. It's just something I'll have to deal with because it's going to be hard to go back to a smaller screen now that I've used this one. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Hopefully this video did help you out in some way to decide whether the 6 Plus is right for you. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. Is the iPhone 6 Plus too big? Click right there to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already, so you don't miss my future videos. I've got the iPhone 6 review, the iPhone 6 Plus review, and lots of other comparisons, stuff like that, lots of tech stuff, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. If you guys want to watch more of my videos on the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, go ahead and click one of the videos on the screen right there, and we'll take you to those. So with a smaller phone. So the smarter God dang it, I said it again. Smartphone. I can't say this. Smaller smartphone. That's a tongue twister.